Welcome to the doghouse. Hope y'all having a great day. I know I am. This is going to be about First Amendment auditors. Are they really frauditors? Are they really auditors? Are they really grifters? And I'm going to state this right up front, guys. If you hear this and are offended by it, listen very closely. I think every government agency, the people have to go out and make sure it's done right. And I don't mean with a camera necessarily, but it could be a camera also. They need held accountable for what they are doing. There's no doubt that our government needs oversight. So don't get me wrong on that. And this isn't about every auditor out there. But auditors have this thing that grifting for money more than the purpose of being out there. And yes, you get both, but a lot of them are grifting for money and they don't care about anything else. They'll make themselves look really good on camera. So when they get arrested, they'll cry, "My rights are violated. This is not a law." Well, let's start with a couple of things. They all say chapter 7, chapter 7. They don't read the whole thing. When you read the whole thing, their argument is moot. Another thing they do is they'll go out and holler, "Bain Act, Bain Act." There's only a few states that is implemented in. It is not every state. Yes, there's some go to the post office, some do the police, some do both. And it's okay when you see something wrong and you go out and you try to find out what it is. You're not enticing people at that point. That's the problem a lot of auditors have. They want the clicks and views and money, so they have to ablib a bunch of crap. Otherwise, they don't get the views and money. True story. There's a lot of people out there that's putting different people out there that's gone to jail, and others they think just idiots. But that's them. There's some really good channels out there that bring out the bad in these guys. And it should be just as much as the bad in the government needs to be exposed. And the problem with a lot of these auditors out there, some are definitely frauditors, is the fact that they'll go out there and if everything's going okay, they're doing a good job, then they notice they're not getting the views or they're not going to get the money, and they will start adding a bunch of crap to why they are there, start the insults, and most people, you guys, know what we know what you're doing. So when you do that, you're just there for clicks and views and start arguments. So you can go home, pat yourself on the back like you did something good. You're a phony when you do that. You're not an auditor. You're just a guy grifting for money, our lady, and you don't care about anything else but your views. You say you do, but your actions speak louder than words. So then you get these guys, they go out and they'll do everything in the world to make sure things are right, and there's them out there that do that. They don't believe that they should be held accountable for anything they do. They believe the law is for everybody but them. And I've seen it out there so many times, and a few channels has brought it out, that these guys think they're above the law because they got a camera. They accuse the people not liking to be filmed, like a camera can't hurt them, and it's a guy with a camera abusing the system. Sorry, guys, but you are. A lot of you. Not all of you, so don't take offense, every one of you. But if you are doing this, you know who you are. So then there's these guys out there that just have to. They just have to take it to the next level, and they wind up getting arrested. And more of these people are starting to get jail time, and they're not getting released. They're getting jail time because they went above what the law is. They went above and broke the law, but they, in their minds, think they did nothing wrong, even though they broke the law. So, once again, they think they're above the law. They don't have to obey the law when they're confronting government officials. Kind of stupid, ain't it? And there's a reason why more and more people are going to jail for their actions. It's because they're taking that extra step that don't need to be taken just for their views and the money. Another thing, and I've seen it on here several different channels, they'll get arrested and then they'll go on and want all this money to bail them out of jail, like they're not making any money. Well, let's, for example, say the bond is $500 to get out. They send these guys $2,000 total. I'm not talking at one time. Are you returning that $1,500 because your bill was paid for? No, you're pocketing it. It's not only auditors that do this, it's others. And by the way, guys, I'm not monetized here. I don't make money on here. What I'm saying is what I believe. So don't think I'm out here trying to make money because obviously I'm not. I do a lot of shorts, and for the most part, that's what I stick to. But just so you guys know, but auditors think they are above the law. They can do what they want. They can grift their viewership because that's what they're good at. I've whether circumstances why they are doing audits now is nobody's business but their own, but there is a reason why they do it, and a lot of them has done it because they've been in jail and they think they're above the law and they're not. You have people going out trying to push the law. They go beyond that what that push is, and then they get arrested and they're the victim because they think they're above the law. Another good example of what they do is they go out to and find the police and they say how bad they are and how corrupt they are. They didn't do this or do that. Then turn around and the people that are out there trying to do this legitimately, and there are some, uh, will defend the guy that goes overboard and is very much in the wrong. The same thing they're accusing the police of doing. So, once again, they think they're above the law. Think about it. Why don't you guys go out there and call out people that are not really auditing? They're out there frauditing. And like I said, there is a difference. I've seen this one guy. I watch this stuff from people's channels to people calling them out. And all of you should go look at that. You don't have to agree with everything, but just go out and look. Nobody in this world agrees 100% with everybody. If you do, you're a fool. Now, getting back to some auditing stuff, I know this one guy, he goes out there and he hasn't been out much because he's gotten so much trouble. They finally caught up and said no, no more. Not that he can't go out and audit, because he still does. In his case, he's a frauditor, not an auditor, because he'll come right out and beg for money. When you're out there saying you're there to do audits and make sure the government is working like it should, and you're out there, every other word out of your mouth is you need money. That means you're more worried about the money than the actual audit. Yes, people will give you money, and I know, and I've said this before, not every auditor makes a lot of money. A lot do, some don't. But them that do has figured out, and there's nothing wrong with making money, but grifting and lying to get your money, that's bad. That shows you have no interest in auditing. You're more interested in frauding and grifting when you do this. I've seen people out there, somebody puts their hand up, get their camera out of their face. Assault! Assault! I got assaulted! And that is 100% for grifting and money. Grifters will love the money and they don't care who they go after to this to happen. If you really want to go out there as an auditor and do a good job, knock off all this other crap. Yeah, there's some people that go out and just, I'm doing my freedom of speech, and they're on the sidewalk, which they can do that. There's nothing wrong with that. But one guy, and it was brought out and shown by others, that he'll go in and start something inside. He comes out back to his camera, and the guy's already upset and annoyed with him. So then he can get really, really good content. He's a phony doing that. The only thing he's worried about is his pocketbook. He cares less about anything else. And you know this. Another thing auditors do, and it's not a lie, but it is a lie. They'll go out and say, well, the charges were dropped. You know how many charges are dropped all the time? Just not in the auditing and frauditing end of things. Sometimes you can have a ticket go in and it's dropped. That don't mean you were innocent. It means they don't want to deal with it. And yes, I've had seen on here a couple of times. I'll call these two that I know of frauditors, because that's exactly what they are. And either one of them virtually said the same thing, that they know that they have too much to do, that even if they break the law, it will get dismissed. And guarantee you, not only in auditing, everything else that happens. That don't mean you were innocent. That means they didn't want to deal with it and just moved on. So when you go out there and tell people you won, that's not winning. That's them not wanting to deal with it. Even if you're in the wrong, it don't matter. I know people. I'll give an example of me. I had a speeding ticket. I go in court, and there was a question of whether I was really speeding or not. But nevertheless, I got a ticket, and I go in there. They actually dismissed the case before it even went to the judge. Doesn't mean they couldn't have pushed forward. They could have. They just didn't want to deal with some of this stuff. It's an everyday thing. So quit lying about things being dropped and you're in the right. That may very well not be the case. They just don't want to deal with things. These two frauditors come right out and said it. So they know sometimes when you go to jail or get arrested, You get bailed out, and they know that that's all the farther it's going to go. Some states are worse than others, obviously, but auditors are good, frauditors are bad. Frauditors are a bunch of jerks wanting money, and they don't care about anything else. They know there's enough fools out there in life, and they are fools, that will give them money. And they call them their friends and all this. You know, you're only a friend until you don't give the auditors and frauditors your money. Then you're no longer their friend and they don't like you. People go out and try to make a drama scenes to get the money. And they do. And instead of going out and doing a good audit job, they want the drama. They think they're a movie actor or something. I don't get it. But they are willing to put the money above humanity and making sure things are right. They care less about things being right. They just want to make sure they're getting every dollar they can out of you any way they can because they don't care. Some of these have big egos, some are narcissists, and some are just stupid people out there. And I ain't naming no names, guys. So don't get all upset because you ain't got a clue who I'm talking about. And it's just the way it is. You guys are pathetic as a whole. You're making them that are actually out there trying to make people accountable bad. It's making everyone out there look bad. And the good ones out there doing a job doesn't mean you run up, shove a camera in somebody's face. You can observe with that camera, obey the laws, not your laws, but the real laws, and you get your job done. But them that are doing that and not calling out them that are frauding and grifting, you're as bad as they are because you ain't got the guts to call them out. That's why some of these channels that call them out, I like them because they're not afraid to call you out. They ain't afraid to call anybody out. They're getting the information out of some of these arrests because of the people that went out there just to grift. And it's sad. You think you'd want to really be be for the First Amendment, but you're not. Because you go out there, and a lot of times, and you see the attitude, I have the First Amendment rights. These guys don't. At no time, if you're a government worker, you don't give up your First Amendment rights. They are still there. There's things, protocol you have to do, obviously. But when you go out there to start fights, just to be doing that, you're a jerk. You're a very, very evil and sadistic person. That money you're getting from doing that, and that is when it's your objective to do that, you're very, very much in the wrong. I'd like to see everybody make money, but grifting off of other people to make you look like a victim is wrong. You're only a victim when you go out there and you actually try to push things and you go over the line. That's not the police fault. That ain't the post office fault. That is your fault for going over the line. You can sit on here until your face is purple. When you go over that line, it's your fault, not theirs. Maybe you ought to become a better auditor and less of a frauditor or a grifter. Yes, it costs money to go out and do this. That's one thing. But when you're grifting for attention, which a lot of you are, thinking this is an easy way to money because there's a sucker born every minute, and that's a true statement too. You're going to take advantage of that and take that money because they're going to feel sorry for you for what you went through. Well, it was your fault that it happened. You're not innocent in these cases a lot of times. You are, some of you out there, and I've seen it, you want to go to jail because people's going to give you money. That's not auditing, that's grifting and a frauditor. So think about it. If you want to audit, audit. Don't go out there with a bold faced lie as a frauditor and a grifter because you want the money and you care less about the First Amendment. Guess what? The First Amendment applies to everybody, not just you. So when somebody uses his First Amendment rights, you can't call this guy against the First Amendment. More than you have that right. And I'm not saying don't go out and audit. Don't go out and fraud it and grift, which a whole lot of you are doing. And shame on every one of you that are doing that.